blah blah. Just watched episode 62 of Boruto, which was essentially the turning point of the show so far. You know, a lot of what built up Boruto was, especially the character, just focusing on just Boruto as a character, was kind of this kind of snarky, very overconfident child who pretty much had it all as far as like his skill set. He was very knowledgeable as far as, you know, fighting and stuff like that. Like episode before, I kind of challenged the idea of like how smart he really was, but we'll just kind of let that slide. But this episode was kind of just like hitting the nail on the head as far as how he turned out to be, especially with Naruto's words not being said directly to him, but he was talking to Momoshiki about what they're doing as not real power, as far as what their goals are, you know, obtaining the chakra fruit and deriving these pills from it to get instantaneous gratification for energy, power, and everything like that. That was kind of the main moral of this entire episode, being that the bad guys are using means that of power that aren't their own, that don't come from their own strength. For Momoshiki, he uses these pills to generate so much chakra to attack all these other people. But, you know, Naruto has really built up his strength, not just using Kurama, but just like his own like wit, and also Sasuke as well, to protect all these people using Naruto's chakra. And it was something that Boruto has never seen from his dad. So I guess from that sense, we can understand why Boruto doesn't see his dad as all powerful, just someone like so lame. He might have the sage mode and everything like that, but he's just still my dad. But like when you see this all come about, and you see Boruto like looking down on himself, and especially since he uses like the scientific ninja tool to make means end, and then you see Naruto like build up all this chakra, it just kind of just shakes Boruto a little bit. As far as, well, I guess it just shakes him. I don't really know how to elaborate as far as that. But again, this has been the moral of this episode. Just our characters, our main people that we followed at variable like moments of like the regular Naruto all the way to Shippuden times, how they have grown as ninja from their own strength. Through variable means, of course. I mean, like with Sasuke, it was kind of weird because he was very hungry for power. And I'm pretty sure like if he had those pills, he might actually jump the gun with those like at that point. But considering like how he's built himself up, he's started relying on his own power, and to the point where all these veterans reach this point of like as a result of their own training. And now we're reaching an age where we are able to grant access like through the ninja tools to have all these powerful jutsus in mind. It does, I can see obviously why Naruto decides not to like allow them the tuning exams in that sense, because it doesn't measure your resolve as like these shinobi. Also, one of the cool things that they added in this episode was actually an additional fight, which was with Gaara and our boy from the Mitsukage versus that one dude. I don't remember his name, so I'll just call him Fishhook because he uses all those. Speaking of fishhooks, I've noticed that each of the Usuki clan's like attacks have this like superlative, like lengthy name for them. I'll just add them one right here. What is with these attack names? It's ridiculous. Like, what does that even mean? As far as I know, it just means fishhook, 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 hook. That's like a 10-syllable word like technique right there. I think you need to stop. What was interesting in this episode, aside from just the animation that they decided to use back from the movie, was some additional like key frames that they decided to add in there, in addition to some, I guess, some additional side plots, like what happened to Mitsuki. I believe in the movie, Mitsuki just kind of evacuated ninjas and that was it. In this episode, it shows him having some idea of like what the Usuki clan is before all this happened. So it kind of gives you an idea like, well, maybe Orochimaru had something in mind and taught Mitsuki all these different things. He was going to use his sage mode to help out Boruto, but Fishhook came in there and literally fish took all his chakra away. And so he was powerless. And good thing he was actually saved by Naruto. Otherwise, like, he would not have been able to move at all. from that gigantic blast radius. The thing is with that big old like attack is that Sasuke says that Bijou Bomb essentially is easily like deflectable, but to do that would cause the risk of everyone in the general vicinity to be wiped out alongside anyone who's not protected, which obviously Naruto couldn't have. So as a result, he just pulled back, and all he can do was just kind of endure the attack, while Sasuke and any other shinobi within the area would come and rescue as many people as possible. I like the shot with Boruto looking up at his dad before everything goes to white, because in that moment you get these flashbacks of Boruto essentially getting a sense for Naruto's chakra being this like bright, warm, just very nostalgic feel that he has like felt throughout the days of like being around Naruto when he was just like growing up. And that was all before he took the Hokage's office. So I think Boruto just forgot about that feeling, and seeing it all over again, it kind of gets something out of us as the viewers, gets this type of feeling of nostalgia as well, a warmth as well. And to see that just kind of like get wiped out in white definitely hits us as well as it hits Boruto at the moment he realizes that something is really wrong, that something's going to happen to Naruto. But this was actually a pretty powerful episode, because it was that point where, again, Boruto being raised as like this cocky, confident ninja to someone who needed more power and needed one like immediately to get that instant gratification of power, to now he's going, after this episode, will reach this new time low where he regrets himself, regrets everything that he's done, and he doesn't feel himself as a strong shinobi anymore. He just feels weak. And the next episode is definitely going to push him to find his resolve, and Sasuke is going to be at the epicenter of all that. But I think the next episode is going to highlight a lot of Boruto reflecting on the things he's done, which is very important because of how the story's built him up, and all these other characters who have all equally respected him. And actually, to be honest, I kind of wish that, as far as like what I saw in the preview, that they had a less of a positive like look at him. But then again, like they're just glad that everyone's safe, because this is a travesty that just happened. So that's pretty much it. I am looking forward to how they kind of rebuild Boruto back up again to make him just as strong as his dad as far as his own resolve. But in the meantime, this was a really strong episode to really change it. I'm actually happy with how they've been treating Boruto so far as a series, considering that there's so much to cover and so much to fill in, considering the movie's now like very much involved in this plot. And then we'll just see what happens like out there later as the episodes keep going. But we'll just end it here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to be in the know of our Boruto discussions, please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. There's also a subscribe bell button, a notification button, let you know when we upload these videos by the minute, and support our Patreon. And there's also a merch store down below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. #bye everyone. I've been clapping a lot, just like, I don't know, just I think it's for me to refocus and get to the point, I think.